into the action here. Nouns on the CT side, so they do get the favorable start, but look at the utility Infinity has brought with them into the round. Triple flashes, a nade, a smoke, and an HE, or a Molotov, excuse me. And they're going to go for the A pop here. 6C's looking to do some damage. The push is coming through. B-Will's blind, and he will fall on Mustang. No trades back yet for Nouns as the bomb goes down. 3 players up into heaven. But the chances are they could be shipped right back down to Tartarus here, Nate. And they're walled out of the site. Infinity's A pop is looking solid.
Was a very solid pop. The question is, can they pop the bubble that is the retake? Nouns setting up for exactly that. 2 from either direction. 2 towards heaven and 2 over towards mini. Lots of good spam damage done thus far, but it is just trades. Pac-Man a double. Cynic does find 1 spamming forward. Torito, wow, though, claps back in turn, and that leaves just Jazz Pimp down on the site with nothing to do. Kinky is the one that takes him down, and that is a very solid start for Infinity. Keep in mind, they had a very rough go at it round 1 of the IEM Road to Rio Americas. 2-16 was the score there. They're now on the board with their best foot forward in round number 2.
An UMP, a UMP, has been called upon by Motto. That is something you don't see every day when the ability to purchase up a MP9 is available. And I quite like it. Nouns have forced up, though. What's up?
He is on the T side, so it is a MAC 10. Keep that in mind. It
would
be an MP9, but still, I agree. It is a big throwback back to when the UMP reigned supreme.
Even then, the MAC 10, it's not very likely you see somebody go for the UMP over the MAC, because the MAC's still very, very good.
It is true. It does have its place. Either way, Infinity, they already have a game plan in mind. They're already wrapping in towards heaven. No fear whatsoever versus the pistols here. They've taken a bit of chip damage and dealt a little bit in return, but thus far the damage does favor Nouns and Jasmine. This is a nice close angle, but Torito, wow, clears it perfectly. And that is now the opening and the split into A begun. B-Will has his work cut out for him in towards the hut. He's trying to find any sort of duel, and he does find it, flying with style, might I add. Pac-Man holding in towards the lobby is taken down, and now things can get a little bit interesting. B-Will, he's on low HP, sure, but he has a Galil, and he's in the backlines.
All the spam, it just does a little bit of damage. Now he can get run down by the UMP, but Motto falls to the hands of 6Z. George is there and Mini as well. Spamzy tagged down very low, but there is no kit for the CT side. This poses an issue. Cynic with a scout. That's a nice finisher on to Torito. The nade and the 6Z. And the defuse. I believe they have time, Nate.
Plenty of time.
I think they got it.
Yeah, more than enough time. They're good. They're good. Very well done.
Yeah. That's an impressive retake. Danny already smiling. And look at what Nouns come out of the round with. 3 Galils, essentially M4s with the rougher spray pattern. And this kill is where it all started. That literal jump kill for B-Wills. That just kind of started a downward spiral. And this, you might be wondering why they're calling a timeout here, Nouns. It is to clear up the comms. Because you can assume that after the jump kill and the way that round unfolded, knowing these players' personalities, they are rather jovial in the call. So they need to calm down a little bit so they can actually focus on the game again.
Think about it. It was a flying shot. I would call it blind luck, honestly, to get the opening that then allowed the team to soar. It is a round that you do not win reliably, and the team is definitely riding the high from that for as long as possible. But now you clear the comms out, you get ready for the next round where you should be advantaged, you keep it near clean or as clean as possible, and you really begin to build here. They did invest in the last round. They bought pistols, they bought armor, they bought a scout. So their money isn't the greatest necessarily, but they still have those rifles, as you mentioned, that they recovered. They invested in an MP9 on 6Z, and they should be able to win this round cleanly and really begin to build up that CT advantage you'd expect to see.
Now it's Glocks for Infinity, and neither team is playing with a coach nor a manager, so I don't think the Glocks will make too much of an impact here. A little bit of a A-ramp hole, or B-ramp hole, excuse me, from George with that UMP in hand, picked up from Motto in the last round. George will just drop down, toss a flash. Actually, no, he'll hold on to his flashbang and save that for the door. And now he does a little more damage, but he's getting rushed down on. A lot of opportunity, though, for more kills. He's got support from 6Z on the MP9. George does fall, but Danny's picked up 2. That's 1,200 for each player. And now Torito has the UMP and no HP. So Nouns will relatively cleanly win that second round. Going to the buy-up now for the Infinity squad. What are they going to show us? AKs, Galil for Motto and Spamzy, as they're going to go for some extra utility. Kinky as well might pick up the Galil. Depends on how much utility he wants to have. His teammates have a good amount, but they're going to go full utility. And I do like the sacrifice from Infinity. I feel like you do want to have that extra util on Nuke. So it's a good call to go in for the 3 extra Galils.
Yeah, the thing that really honestly hindered 9Z in that opening matchup, that they did eventually win, granted, was the fact they didn't have the utility on their T side. They used it for the outside take, and then they ran out, and they were stuck in no man's land with no control and no utility. So the fact that they're sacrificing so early on Infinity, that bodes well for their T side. They do know how to play this map. They are comfortable on it, and they have gone toe-to-toe versus Nouns on this map before, I'm sure, whether it be in practice or in actual games. Pac-Man holding his nerve towards the hut, knows when to start things off. He finds one, doesn't find the second. The MP9 is enabled at that close range, and it will find the trade, but that doesn't stop Infinity from going for the crunch play. Nouns quickly adjusting and adjusting well, rotating in towards the lobby, getting some rifles as well, and Jazz Pimp on the flank will find another harassing and allowing first team to get into solid retake positions. This is going to be a difficult hold for Infinity.
They're pretty much all coming in from lobby, though. There's the one player in mini that is Jazzpimp, but the rest of the squad very stuck. That spam damage doing good amounts, but Mato does find one. The tap from Torito will spray down 60 in the end into a 2-on-2. No utility really for either side. The smoke's not going to affect much at all in this situation. It's going to come down to the aim, and Jazzpimp doubles down. Spansy on 36 HP needs to get the job done, but Jazzpimp will find him as well. And Nouns will win what could essentially be called a bonus round for them. It wasn't the cleanest of rounds, but they are able to do it. I do like the ramp push they called through as well with the information, 60 clearing out the combination to crunch into lobby. But Infinity have been able to get the bomb down a majority of the time, which is good signs for them on their T side. Nouns do have to find a way to stop that plant from coming through, because it's going to mean the bonuses, or the half buys, I should say, are going to be stronger, and the opportunities to just keep reinvesting are going to be greater for this T side. They're going to go in for the techs, a bit of utility. Potentially an 8-pop here, Nate, but with the smokes, I'm going to hedge my bet on an outer yard play to secret.
It looks like it. They're already leaning. Smoke's already being thrown as well. Jazzpimp, he's the one at bat here. He'll exchange utility. He's very, very lucky to be alive at this stage. These players are up close and personal. Torito, wow. Does get by, takes lots of damage, though. Jazzpimp spam a little bit early for the bulk of the squadron, though. Just doing a little bit there at the end towards Torito, wow. Infinity, they are crossing the secret, all 5 players present. There is a canary in the coal mine, though, for Nouns. That is Sigzy spotting over towards the door. A very, very safe position, I would say. The best you could ask for him. He does get the information. He'll flash. He'll close the doors. Very well done from him. Very well disciplined. But now he has to try and hold against the onslaught. 1, 2, 3. The 4th damaged, but still he's kicking. And George now is here to support. He finds Motto. It leaves just Spamzy in the 1v5. He's being spammed away at. Sigzy trying to go for the highlight. Won't quite get it. He'll be the only casualty in the round. George finds a nade in response to get the trade. And Nouns are off to a very, very solid start as another tactical, or actually this is the first tactical timeout for Infinity is called.
Yeah, 60 was going for the 4K highlight. I think he still gets a highlight there for how he played that. The flash, the close, and then just retreating. He gets 3, almost the 4th. It's a really well done play from 60, and he's one you were going to look to Nouns to try and frag out. If he's at the top of the scoreboard, Nouns are doing well. And Infinity having a timeout forced from them very early, it does show that they are ready to try and turn the tide. They don't want to let Nouns get out to a huge early CT lead. They might be floating an op idea here now. They're going to go for the AK and Spamzy, full armor. So it's going to be AKs now. No op for either side has yet come forward, which is a bit interesting. Now, I do have an anecdote. If we do get into some weird buy situations on the CT side, do not be surprised if Cynic buys a Negev. He is prone to play that position in heaven. And as weird as it sounds, he's actually kind of good with it.
It works. I also want to highlight Sigzy, a very measured approach there on that round. In his infancy, in his early career when he was first getting traction, he was known to be the man taking flamboyant plays and overly audacious plays that got punished in the end. He was actually the one that kind of undid some of his squad's doing. So the fact that he's really kind of reining things in, playing as he should, bodes well for this squad. And Jazzpimp now finds the opening down towards Secret. Very well done from him. He also does not overstay his welcome, falling away. Very well done again. Yeah, very good utility as a team, good flashes for yourselves, and Nouns, they're just looking like a very good, coherent squad. I think the coaching staff has done a lot of work for them.
Yeah, Semphis has done a lot of work with him. Veteran in the North American scene. Cynic as well. Budding is a really good IGL. He's definitely impressed me with his ability to frag as well as call at the same time. He's been a breath of fresh air for the North American scene. And what do we have here from Nouns? It is a flawless. That is massive for their economy on the CT side. Jazz Pimp has 12K.
Yeah, they had 4 players surviving the round prior. They have
Yep.
5 surviving now. Like, this is very good for their economy on the CT side. And keep in mind, the CT side economy is very fickle. If you lose more than 3 players every round consistently, you're always on the cusp of being reset and always on compromised buys. That is clearly not the case here. As you mentioned, Jasmine, 5 digits. Cynic approaching that. George over 5. Sigsy approaching 5. And B-Will's also at that 6K mark. Very well done, and they're again going against pistols. If they can keep this one with 4 or 5 alive, the sky's the limit for their economy. They're going to really have to worry about buys for a good while.
Yeah, I would say 16K is the limit for their economy. But
That is true, technically. It is built into the game.
yeah, imagine if there was an uncapped economy. It would just get so out of control. Oh, that's a nice drive-by from B-Wills as Nouns look to mop up this round. 60 shouldn't be overextending here. Stay alive. Keep your money. Yeah, look at that now. 3 players in quintuple digits. It'll go down a little bit because they're going to have to rebuy utility. But Nouns, they are looking good. Semphis looks happy behind those shades. And they just have to be careful not to get over happy here, Nouns. Because you mentioned 60 used to be prone to going aggressive and maybe too aggressive, kind of undoing things. He has to be careful not to fall into that mindset again. He's having a really good impact right now. The rest of the squad as well. Nobody has died more than 3 times for both George and Sixy, leading the team in deaths. But that's because those guys are usually on the front lines as well. Jasmine's done a really good job of measuring himself. That's a lot of damage on the Spamsy early, too, playing from Glaive. And he's going to swing forward, get more damage, but he can't get the kill. Cynic trying to flash him forward. There's the opening pick for Infinity, something they've not had in a while. But it doesn't seem like they really have an advantage, Nate. Despite getting the man up, they have taken so much on Spamsy. Torito's down to 46 as well. And it seems like they still don't really have the map control despite getting the outer yard player. And now B-Wills has the bomb, fall to his feet. It rolls towards him. The Molotov goes too deep. He's going to actually get pushed forward, but look at the ramp play. They come together. They crunch. And this team play, the coordination from Nouns is actually impeccable right now. This is a level I have not seen from this team, I don't think, ever.
It's measured aggression. It's team play. This is perfect. This is what I want to see from Nouns. This is what a boot camp creates. A solid, coherent squadron playing together, taking measured aggression. Sure, you could say Jasmine got a little bit overly assertive, but you know what? It's a gimmick play. They have so much money, they can afford an early loss, or even, I dare say, a round loss. Yeah, they're still playing it together. They're still using the utility in coordination. And this lobby crunch is, well, perfectly called mid-round play. They read it expertly. And now, as you can tell, Infinity, they're going to drop down the vents. Sure, they managed to recover the bomb, but Nouns still have a very solid setup going into what could be a retake. Torito down to 3, and he's just being harassed. George, lots of damage. A combined total of 10 HP. Make that just 3 now. And Torito can't even justify a plan. Can he? The Molotov will put him out. It will do him in. No, it's Cynic instead with the round, the actual bullets required. And Nouns, a resounding lead. 7-1. Granted, it is the CT side, but still, Infinity have not shown us much. They won the pistol round. That was it.
Yep. And it's not like they're even able to win the aim duels in a large case of scenarios either. Nouns are winning them. And the only time Infinity are realistically able to win the duels is when they have the firepower advantage, or when there's multiple targets for one man to fight, i.e. Jasmine Battle Yard last round. And here's the thing. Nouns just had to rebuy. There's still 3 players over 10k. George is still at 6,200. Look, they're going for the A play, though. They're going to get burned down, spammed down. B-Wolves with a double. Make it 3 from up on the rafters. Jaspim comes in, tags down the last, and Sixy will finish him off. A flawless to respond as Nouns continue to drive this one through. The knife is in, and they're starting to twist it, Nate, as Infinity just can't get anything going at all. They try the fast A pop. It worked on the pistol. It gets obliterated against the guns. And Nouns have actually used a secondary timeout. I'm a bit curious as to why this one's been called.
I think it's mind games. I truly do at this stage.
Oh,
if there was a team to play mind games, it would be this team. Look at the coach. He's just smiling, laughing. They're definitely going for a mind games play here. Yep. There's no doubt in my mind. If there was any team in the IEM or the Rio Americas, it would be this team to go for the mind games, and this is exactly what they're going for.
Yeah. Now, I honestly would expect Danny to start yelling too.
We haven't heard anything. He's actually the quietest one. He's the one just quietly sipping his drink there.
Yeah.
With a bit of a over on the far right. Face. Yeah, a little bit of a smirk. Everybody's smirking, I would say, on the Nouns side. Even the coach, stoically smirking in the background.
I mean, if Danny's playing this well quiet, I'm scared. He's a loud player. He's one to get up in your face, both in the server and outside of it. Him that just reserved. Is this a new leaf on 6E's story?
It might be.
Just turning into a Terminator?
It would be quite the redemption arc, I would say. Quite the redemption arc, given the history he's had. And I love to see it. This is a person that I've wanted to see succeed for quite a while.
Yeah, I agree.
Pistols again, this time a delayed push over towards A. B-Will's a flurry of targets. His crosshairs dragged away. He won't get anything, but Cynic and Sigzy are here to hold it down. Maro will recover that AK short, get a kill. A second, perhaps, but Jazzpip does indeed cap it off. Reins things back in and still cool and confident. You can see Semphis, I don't think his expressions changed once beyond when he was talking during the tac pauses. He's been the exact same this whole time. The coach is just back there, shades, cool and confident.
Oh, there's a smirk.
And the same patented smirk there. And Infinity looking a bit antsy, you can see. Kind of, again, it's the T side, it's difficult, but it does truly feel like they're running their head against the wall. Spamsy does at last change things here. He does bring out the big green, as does Cynic. An important note, and again, the money is incredibly vast. The cash for Nouns, no question as to what they'll be able to buy. It's everything they so desire. Cynic with the op is the one looking for the opening. He won't find it on the jump spotting player, but Spamsy won't find much success either towards the squeaky door.
If anything, he takes a lot of damage, which is the opposite of success. So Spamsy's been spammed down to 13. Flash will go in, actually blinds Jazzpim, so he can't go for the swing. But now he'll just probe up a little bit more with that Molotov and smoke. Oh, he makes noise. They know where he is now, but they're going to clear the wrong angle, and Torito will go right to his doom. The shadow shows, and Kinky goes down as well. Molotov to ward off a ramp push. That's where the last three remaining Infinity players are, and it just seems like there's an infinite way that Nouns are finding ways to win rounds. Not one player is necessarily highlighting things above the other. Cynic's going to be poised for a couple of op shots. He'll swing out blind, but it's George's turn to shine as he will net two, and Spamsy will get the offer and have to fall away, but the bomb is down at the feet, and there's a lobby crunch coming in from behind. There's really no way out for Spamsy. Beatles actually isn't going to force the issue. The nade will finish him off instead. That is the third or fourth nade kill that Nouns have had so far this game, and they are up now 10-1. The only round Nouns have lost so far is the pistol.
Dominance. True and utter dominance from Nouns. And highlight a stat, I guess, just to really highlight how dominant this performance has been. Cynic is the bottom for his team. That would make sense. He's the IGL. He has 8 kills, though. Still respectable. The top frag for Infinity has 6. It is it's thoroughly outclassing, I think, is the best term you could use at this stage. As harsh as it sounds, it's 10-1. You only won the pistol round. And every single time you found maybe a kill. I think the best they really had is 3 kills in a round, and that was on a pistol when they recovered an AK. Beyond that, they have found next to nothing.
I mean, the bottom 2 Nouns players combined have 17 kills. All of Infinity combined has 17.
Man.
Yeah. It just keeps looking worse and worse for Infinity here. And yes, Nouns are the favorite team in this scenario. The map was a bit of a question mark here. Maro, that's big 2 kills, but the flashes aren't going to survive, keep him alive for much longer. He'll get traded out by Jaspin, who goes 2 overextending, and he gets taken out by Kinky. That's a kill Jaspin needs to have. It's now a man advantage for Infinity. The only thing is, there's really no health. Cynic has to land that shot too. His op has been quiet through the first couple of rounds. He's had it. George really has it all to do now up in heaven. The bomb is going down front silo, but the high HP player is dropped. Cynic now in a 1-on-2 with no HP really to work with in an op in this situation. If he drops it, he will reveal his position, and I don't believe he knows his opponents are so low on health. The trade is there as well from Torito. He'll swing out wide, and Infinity finally get around on the board with the guns. That's a bit of a gift, because Nouns had the opportunities. They just didn't hit their shots they should have.
I was going to say, it's a couple with opportunities. I don't think that's replicable. It was a nice, clean double entry on the Galil, but the key caveats here is that the missed shots from Jazz Pimp onto the player on site with the bomb, he gets a lot of damage but doesn't get the kill, and an uncharacteristic miss from Cynic on the op in the outside yard, as you mentioned. That's what really got him on that low HP. Even then, it was still a 1 versus 2 with both players at a combined HP of 50. Like, it was still a very dicey situation for Infinity, despite the numerous misses from Nouns. So a round like that, sure, it gives them something, but it still does not instill confidence.
No, it really doesn't. Nades flying through as well. 6E will retreat from mini instead of holding the outer yard angle. Jazzpimp will just tap away with the A1S, and he'll just outline, but he won't get the kill. Pac-Man's holding for a lobby push, which is something that we've seen from Nouns traditionally. But they only do it usually if there's pressure in lobby and they have information. They don't just blindly push ramp. George is now towards double doors. I like this little crossfire with 6E too. The doors are open for George to escape. He's got the nade prepped and ready to go. The run boost is going to come across and George will just spot them out, wait for the sound cues, and time his nade well. And it goes, and Kinky's taken down to 54 HP. A little bit of chip damage onto Spamsy, taken out by 7. But 6E here, they're not going to expect this, surely. They should clear it. It's just a protocol. But it won't even matter. He gets the first and the second. Make it 3. Danny's lining him up. He's knocking him down. And 6E wants more as Nouns are looking for 11. George has come through to support the bomb behind the stairs. And Pac-Man, even if he grabs a super pellet, Nate, I don't think he's going to be able to get past these ghosts. 11-2 for Nouns.
Again, dynamic CT side performance. Sigsy set up there with George. Love the little micro setup for the jump spot to bait in for Sigsy. He was cleared as protocol, as you mentioned, but they weren't really ready for him. They didn't know he was there. They still had to worry about the control stairs as well. So they had 2 angles to worry about, and Sigsy just seizes the day there. 3 kills on the A1S. Very well done. Nouns, again, leagues ahead of Infinity, who are now reset and on pistols.
Deagle's on 3, Technon on 1. Pac-Man with the vent dive, but he takes so much damage, and there's actually nobody here. No, George has made his way down. The vent dive has been called. George of the jungle, look down here, man. There's a guy on site. You got to finish him off, and George will do the deed. 6E's also holding the line with a couple more kills. George dropped by Motto, who's really been the only bright spot for Infinity as of late. He's hit a couple of nice shots, but as you can see, the scoreline just isn't really that forgiving. And Nouns, with Cynic coming in to clean up the last 2, are going to go up now by 10 with a chance for a 13-2. But we have seen this before in 8, so we can't get too comfortable, especially you Nouns fans if you're here. You cannot get comfortable because 9Z were able to do it. Just the thing is, do Infinity have what it takes to pull a 9Z?
9Z were able to do it, sure. But it's also important to note that in that case, Imperial had Fallen as their spear point. They had a person clearly outclassing the rest of the squad and putting the team in his backpack, metaphorically speaking. Everybody was doing their part, sure, but Fallen was really shining. No one specifically is shining for Nouns. Everybody is doing their part. The kill difference between the top and the bottom on the CT side is 5. Everybody is doing more than enough, more than their role asks, and that is going to make things even more difficult going up against them on their own T side.
Jazzpimp looking for the outer yard pick again. Torito does not show behind the smokes, but Jazzpimp will tap away, spray away, and there goes Torito. Good night. It is round 15, and you can do no more. On top of Mini, Kinky goes down as well. The flash comes through, and Jazzpimp is farming outside. He's grabbed himself a 3rd, following up Danny the last round. Pac-Man around the silos will drop as well, and a 13-2 will lead us into half number.
Boggs, what a dominant performance by Nouns on their CT side of Nuke.
Aside from the one round, Infinity kind of got lucky because Nouns missed some critical shots they had been hitting for literally every other round. The only round they got was a pistol. They have to win this one now if they're going to have a shot. And this pistol round, Nouns are gearing up for the A take, but even now, they still need 3 rounds. And an individual play from the likes of 6Z or B-Wills can definitely do that for him. Stuck on the backside. The Julie's actually up on top of Hut. Will find one. But the backside player in Kinky is eliminated. B-Wills drops another, and Cynic has figured out where Spamsy was hiding. Pac-Man up in heaven will try and do one better, but B-Wills is a beast from this position. He's still alive, and George will almost double down. Has to reload, and he spots out the head of Torito, stuck in heaven. B-Wills is coming in to support now, but it's George to finish the job. And then necessary pistol round to try and close this one out, or at least get this one closer for Infinity, does not go their way. And if they were going to try and pull off a 9Z, they would have had to start with the pistol.
Would have most certainly had to start with that. That was the thing that gave us signs of life for 9Z. As I'm sure we're gonna draw allusions to that game for I'd say weeks at this point, Boggs. That was one of the best games we've ever cast, and I hate to say it, I hate to keep bringing it up, but it was truly a delight to watch. Either way, Infinity, no real choice but to force. They love an MP9, 3 Deagles, make that 2 MP9s to complement the Deagles. Nouns, an aggressive play is the call, but They are kind of walking into the meat grinder here. Some MP9 kills for Spamsy and Pac-Man. Nouns do have the site.
Jeez. George just lasers Spamsy and Mini with the MAC-10. Jasper's going to drop down the vent, make a lot of noise, too. He's got the bomb. And Nouns are trying to catch Infinity in the rotation now. So Nick's going to make the way down as well. He's going to make all the noise, too. Reload as there's players in Mini. They will hear that, but the bomb has gone down. So that facilitates the need for the rotation down. So Nick has got a bit of an advanced position, and George will actually pick up one on the lurk towards A. It's to a 3v3 now, but all three players now coming through ramp room. The bomb is planted back silo. It's a safe plant, and that single door come through is going to be a bit tough for Nouns, but Jazzpimp has got one. Now Cynic can pop up in the double doors and strike onto Torito. It's all down to Kinky, and he has fallen 15-2 in the favor of Nouns, as even when things start to get a bit rough, they're able to right the ship and find a way to safe harbor. Nouns one round away from sending Infinity to the 0-2 side of the Swiss stage with their second 16-2 loss of the day.
Yep, and compelled to force, of course, backs literally against the wall here in this one. Very well played from Nouns, I must say. I like how they kind of spread out. They had a very good read of the situation from Infinity. They spread out, they got the picks, but they still converged back to the bomb site at the critical juncture. Very well done from Nouns. And Infinity, as I mentioned, backs against the wall. It's 2 Mosses, 2 MP9s, and a Deagle. And it's a bit of a whiff spray. Pinky drops Cynic, who does lots of damage on that Galil, but just can't convert into the kill. And so now Infinity sit with another advantage. The question is, can they capitalize on this one?
They got all the ramp control they could ask for. Kinky's stuck behind the Molotov. He can't force the issue. Sixy will swing into J-Hall and clear out Coat Room, but it's going to be a B end again from Nouns. The rotation has come down through Secret, though. And they've smoked off decontamination. They've smoked off single door. There's one in double control as well. The bomb has not yet gone down. And Torito is going to get swung on. There's a nice flashbang to come through from Jaspim to help the peak as well. But into the 4-on-4, things really do favor Nouns more and more. Sixy will add another. Jaspim will do more damage. Kinky's still somehow alive as the guy who started this one on 8 HP. There's one for Jaspim. Make it a second potentially if he sprays the Macton or even the FAMAS. Either way, there's no chance for Infinity here. It's a Nouns 16-2.
Another dominant performance, and that has to sting. In fact, it might even more than